it did not initially put any restrictions. So I got like a few responses from out of India as well, but I realized that they were pretty well advanced in what they were doing. They were pretty like well aware of everything. And when I had asked for others option as well for um, other what you say other softwares that they know of, they had named a few that even I had to research about. So I restricted it only in India so that we can know, at least in us, how much we can improve. So these are all college professors from 11th standard onwards till I have masters as well and bachelors. um, I I realize I have not included the demographic profile, but I do have it with me as well. These are ranging from 20 to 40 years of age.
Okay, 20 to 40. Fine. Uh, Let me go back to the five. In the introduction slide, you had five tools. The fifth tool was emphasis on providing quality education, and then it was talking about employment and entrepreneurship. So, can you elaborate on these aspects? Technical and vocational skills for employment and entrepreneurship. So, how would you do it
You're talking
by
about
using
introduction,
ICT?
fifth point, emphasis on providing quality education to learners of all ages, including technical and vocational skills for employment and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So basically, in today's world, if you see, we have progressed a lot. There's technology involved in everything. So the more aware we make the students about the different technologies that are there, how to use them, and how not to depend upon them as well, but instead use them for the betterment, okay, and not just to depend more on it and to like let technology do your work for you, but instead use it for so basically this is one point in my paper wherein too much usage of ICT, there's something known as a graphing calculator wherein you input the equations and it gives you the answer. Now for purpose of visualizing it, it's amazing, but the moment you use that in examinations and stuff, the students are going to be using it in order to get the graphs and not really understand how to get it. So along with using this to teach them what the concepts are, we also should be involved in teaching them that dependence on technology altogether is not good. Okay, we should be able to learn to use technology for betterment, and I think the moment we are able to instill such values in the students, they are able to better the world using technology in today's generation, and definitely be able to find different ways in which they can make themselves more employable, and will be able to there's so much knowledge in the world. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of, like, I've met a lot of students who already have their own businesses, okay, so they are entrepreneurs already, and they definitely use a lot of technology to do that. But to be completely dependent on that, I think that is one learning we can take from the paper. Like, this is my understanding.
Okay. Going back to your data analysis and finding,
Okay.
wherein it interestingly says, of course, I mean, it is true, years of experience versus frequency. So the younger teachers or those with less experience are using ICT, and those with more experience are slightly reluctant to use. But that was one. And the second slide says, does the college provide access to ICT resources? And you are saying that if there is more access provided, then the frequency can increase, right?
Correct.
So, how do you link this first and second? Because I'm interested in knowing the sample size in the data analysis part. Because if
Correct.
there are more young teachers included in your sample, then
Correct.
naturally this
Correct.
is logically correct. The second
Correct.
observation is correct because they will
Absolutely
be
correct.
more receptive to use of technology,
Correct.
and then the accesses. But if there are more teachers with an average experience, then I'll be interested in knowing the analysis of this Pearson correlation.
I agree,
Like,
sir.
yeah.
One of the drawbacks in my particular research is that I was not able to gain a lot of um, people. I wanted it to be a little more uniform, especially in getting the responses. In order to get more responses, at least my target was 100, but it was difficult. I understood it was difficult to get responses in the amount of time. So yes, absolutely, sir. Your idea of less number of faculties who have more experience have actually responded through, sir.
Okay. And the last slide, which you say, how do you do it? Because technology will never replace a great teacher, agreed. But in hands of great teacher, it is transformational. But how? How can you make it transformational in the hands of a great teacher, irrespective of the frequency of years of experience, right?
I
Yeah, your
think
comments.
yes, yes. So I think so. This is something that I have seen happen in my college, wherein we have now. I think this is the only college that I've seen has been using technology so much. Okay, we have a lot of lectures that are taken on. Like we have hybrid mode of teaching, wherein we teach in class and we have students sitting online as well with us. Along with that, we have something known as SLEs, in which students present online with us. Like they will give a presentation online and they will improve their skills of presentations as well. And these sort of activities are carried out throughout. So whether you're young or old, like as a faculty, whether you have more number of years of experience or less, everybody found it difficult initially because there's a lot of connectivity issues. There's a lot of how do we get used to the software and everything. So many questions. But what I seen was that the more you practice, no matter your age, no matter how many years of experience you have, everybody got kind of used to it. And now I see that even the ones who do not have that much experience with technology are able to know ki, okay, if I do this, this will happen. So as long as we are able to, also if we do have issues, we have people who are belonging to the IT field who are constantly there for our beck and call. Like if we have an issue, they are there. So that could be a part of the team who helps us to make it happen. It's not going to happen very easily, it's not going to happen very quickly. There will be a lot of hiccups along the way, but in education at least we can do our best. We can try and inculcate such things, which will allow us to like try to keep it uniform basically. When we are inculcating something, it shouldn't just be like one faculty is inculcating some sort of ICT tool and technique in their teaching, but rather everybody should be taught how to do it. So FDPs could be kept for faculties. There could be training sessions. There could be people who are well versed with these things already, who will be by our sides while we do it. It'll take 2-3 tries, it'll take 4-5 tries, but we'll learn it, and side by side everybody else will also learn it, and slowly and little by little we'll be able to see a transformation. Thank you. Any more
Okay.
questions?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
There is a request from Dr. Parampreet Singh to advance his number. He was scheduled to be presented a little later, but if sir permit, then we can take it ahead. There are other participants also, those who are managing their time, and they're taking time out for this presentation.
So, shall you allow me to first finish mine, sir? Because same is an issue with me also.
Yeah. That's what I told Parampreet Singh sir also, that that is the kind of issue that we are moving on. So we'll follow the schedule. So please excuse me for that. So now next I would like to call upon Dr. Milind Dua sir from KPJ Hinduja College of Commerce. Sir, you are visible. You can share your PPT.
Yeah,
You are audible also.
Yes, sir. Okay. Um, good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Milind Bhua from KPB Hinduja College of Commerce. The research topic that I have chosen for this particular conference is a comparative study on branch-based banking and online banking in Mumbai. Now, if we talk about branch-based banking, that is basically the traditional banking system which we people have been using since years. And online banking, though willingly, unwillingly, but COVID has made it compulsion for us to accept it. And hopefully now we are more comfortable with online-based banking, considering or compromising somewhere with respect to the security concerns, etc. Now, this is the following reviews that I have done for my study. The research problem which I have identified is basically the complex interaction between the two banking models. And so there is a need to further investigate into the financial demands and preferences of the diverse Mumbai population, Mumbai being a metropolitan city with a diverse demographic profile among people, it becomes really essential to understand this complex interaction. The objective of the study, it aims to assess Mumbai's residents' ease and convenience in using branch-based and online banking services, the preferences based on demographic factors, that is age, gender, income, and technical aptitude, to identify the drawbacks and benefits of each banking model, and enabling financial institutions and policymakers to adapt their service plans accordingly. These are the objectives. Now, two hypotheses were framed. The first is the demographic variables such as age, gender, and income have a significant impact on the selection of branch-based on or online banking among the customers in Mumbai. Security concerns does not have any significant effect on the customer's choice among branch-based or online banking in Mumbai. This is the demographic profile of the respondents of my study. The four criteria were considered for the demographic issues, that is age, gender, income, and security concerns. The data analysis and interpretation, the hypothesis one were further classified into three categories based on the demographic profile of age, gender, and income. The p-value under the chi-square method was 0.001, which led to the rejection of the null hypothesis and acceptance of the alternative hypothesis. Thus mean that age group and banking choice were statistically significantly correlated. The
Hello,
second,
Milin.
yeah, ma'am.
Hello, Milin.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you are not clearly audible.
Okay.
I think two gadgets you are working on. Your voice
No,
is
ma'am.
breaking. So
No,
please
no,
try
no.
to
Not really, but just
avoid
a second.
this.
Yeah.
No, you are audible. We are able to hear you nicely.
Okay. Okay. Which, ma'am, in that case, there is a possibility that there's an issue with your gadget.
Some problem, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just come
Yes,
back.
yes, I got that.
Yeah. So I was just on the hypothesis one. So the first hypothesis, parameter of age, is already been analyzed. The second was understanding the relationship between the gender and the preferences of banking. Here also the p-value was identified to be 0.001, which means that the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternative hypothesis is accepted. The third parameter was the income level, how the income level and the preference of banking are significantly related. So here the ANOVA was used, the value was 6.83 and the p-value was 0.002, which led to a rejection of the null hypothesis once again and the acceptance of the alternative hypothesis. Thus, it could be said that age, gender, as well as income had a significant impact on the preferences of banking. The second was to identify the relationship between the banking mode and the security concerns. Here again, the chi-square technique was used. The p-value was identified to be 0.03, and thus the rejection of the null hypothesis and acceptance of the alternative hypothesis, which indicated that security concerns influence the consumer's decision between the two banking methods. The findings of the study reveals that 62% of the respondents prefer internet banking over traditional banking. But the most important thing to understand over here was with younger people, it showed a strong preference. Also, age, gender, and income level, we have already understood it through the research analysis part. Basically, it had a significant impact on the banking preference, with younger people favoring internet banking, accessibility, and convenience. Also, the respondents showed that females show a stronger propensity towards internet banking. The higher income respondents prefer internet banking, possibly due to increased exposure of technology. Security perceptions also play a significant role in banking decisions, because over there also the null hypothesis was rejected. The study highlights the importance of adopting digital solution for a techno-savvy population. Nowadays, if we see, we are basically facing the IGEN population. So they are more techno-savvy. So it is really important to have the physical branches for building trust simultaneously. Means we cannot just give up with the traditional banking system. If we talk about the suggestions of this study, the investigation revealed significant cybersecurity issues in internet banking, emphasizing the need for robust measures like advanced encryption, multi-factor authentication, and regular security audits to boost the consumer confidence. Institutions should adopt their banking offerings to cater the different demographic groups such as senior citizens seeking security education and younger tech savvy individuals seeking advanced digital product. This would be really favorable for the banking organizations. Hybrid strategy combining branch-based and internet banking can cater to diverse customer preferences, allowing customers to choose their preferred mode of engagement while enjoying digital platforms. So that would be really favorable. Institutions should implement digital literacy programs to bridge the digital divide and increase internet banking adoption, enhancing users' experience through workshops, maybe tutorial classes, or even user-friendly interfaces. Also, regularly engaging consumers through feedback channels and surveys provide real-time insights into changing preferences and concerns, enabling institutions to quickly modify their strategies to meet evolving consumer expectations. The banking institutions can enhance their digital innovation by partnering with technology providers to create user-friendly mobile applications or secure transaction platforms, and even AI-driven consumer care services. And finally, continuous research is crucial to stay updated with the evolving technology and client preferences, providing valuable insights into enduring trend and also simultaneously developing various patterns. So these are my suggestions of the study. These are the references I have referred to for my article. And thank you for the patience listening, and I'm open to the questions now.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now, I'd request Milind Marathi sir for other
Yes,
questions.
yes. Yeah, yeah. Dr. Milind Bua,
Thank you so
interesting
much, sir.
topic. I actually, it's a very interesting topic. I have so many questions, but maybe we'll cut
Sure.
it short. See, my first question is, I am interested in knowing what types of banks you have covered
So I
during
have
your study.
mainly focused on the nationalized banks because it is in continuation with my PhD thesis. So my thesis area was basically nationalized banks, and that too selected nationalized banks like State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Union Bank, Canara Bank, and Bank of India. These are the 5 banks I have covered.
Okay. My second question is, you mentioned online. So, have you also covered mobile banking
Yes, sir.
as a part
The
of online?
Yeah,
Was it
online banking
included?
includes internet banking as well as mobile-based banking.
So, you have included mobile-based banking also.
Yes.
Third is the geography of it, because it will again, the demographic part you have covered. So, you have covered age, gender, and income. But
Yes.
have you also thought of geography or in terms of their addresses while
Sir,
collecting the data? Because different pictures can emerge from
nahi,
different
I have
geographies of Mumbai. Yeah.
Yeah, I have covered up right from Dahisar to towards the uh, south. It is up to Kulaba.
Hmm.
Then over here it is from Mankurd, and it covers the entire coastal area of Bandra and everything. So the
Okay.
area was quite wide.
Okay. So any picture, I wanted to know whether any different pictures are emerging in terms of geography, in terms of adoption of branch or online. So, for example, in X geography, online is more dominant. In Y geography, offline is more dominant.
Yeah, so I
Like that.
experienced that most of these South Mumbai areas over there, online banking was more dominant.
Hmm.
Whereas in case of suburban areas like Dahisar, Kandivali, Malad, over there traditional based banking was more preferred than in case of online banking. Also towards Mankur, then on that area, basically the Dharavi area, over there also traditional banking was more preferred choice. So what I could understand from them, that is basically the Dharavi area, Mankurd area is identified to be having a low literacy rate. So maybe they are more concerned about security concerns, and so they may not prefer to go with online banking as a mode of transacting.
Okay, fine. Um, just share your thoughts about a concept called omni-channel. How do you look at omni-channel in relation to your topic? Because that is the in thing, today's thing. We are
Yeah.
talking about omni-channel.
So omni-channel, I can say, is omnipresent. So it is really essential that we have both the things simultaneously present.
Hmm.
We cannot give up the traditional based banking because of the growing era of the online banking. Because finally, traditional based banking is somewhere the security concerns would be more not at all being compromised. It will be taking care more of security issues. But yes, when we say about the ease and the convenience to use the transacting time, if we talk about, then in that case online banking will be a preferred choice. So it is really essential that the banks do not give up their traditional systems completely. Though it's been my experience that the number of staff in each branches, the number of branches everywhere has comparatively gone down, but it cannot be completely nullified.
Okay. I just have a question in terms of gender because that's what has happened over a period of time. Banks like ICICI, HDFC, they have been more appealing to the youth rather than the middle and the older generation. So, is there any picture? Are they being part of your sample? Have you covered them?
Sir, they actually are not a part of my sample because they are
Okay.
basically private sector.
Private banks, right,
Yeah,
right.
so I have restricted myself to nationalize only, and that to
Only.
selected five nationalized banks.
Five banks. Okay, because a different picture can emerge because
Actually,
they have been quite modern, and in fact, ICICI have been an innovator in terms of adoption of ICT.
yeah,
So
basically
a different
they
picture
were the
will
one,
emerge.
they were the first one to come up
First
with
one,
with
exactly,
directly account opening without in
exactly.
yes,
Without any pen and paper,
exactly,
everything is online. So
yes.
that's what I was wondering because
No,
then it
even
will be a
sir,
different comparison.
yeah, even I have come across one bank that is DBS basically.
Yes.
So that is also one which initially when they started, they had zero branches in India.
Hmm.
So they completely started with the online platform.
Okay, good.
In fact,
So,
if we talk about this Equitas and all that, even they
hmm,
adopted the same pattern in the initial stages.
hmm, okay, fine. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Dr. Marathe sir.
Yes,
Marathe
madam.
sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Ah, madam.
Yeah, it's a humble request, sir. Yeah, six more presentations are yet to
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
present their papers, and yeah, 3:30 we have validatory. So please
Oh,
make general remarks and suggestions at the end
no problem.
instead of
No
asking,
problem.
multiple questions to the
No
our
problem.
presenters. They come to know. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
madam.
so much
Thank you.
for your
Thank you.
cooperation.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call upon the next paper presenter, Mrs. Preeti Savade, Madam, from B.K. Birla College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Kalyan. Ma'am, if you are
Yes,
there
sir.
with us.
Yes, sir. I am audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
I'm sharing the screen.
Yes.
Sir, is my screen visible?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Just a minute. I'm not able to share my screen because you're in.
It's okay, ma'am. If there is any technical issue, you can continue with your presentation.
Just let me try for a bit. Sorry, sir, I'm not able to share my screen, so I'll
There is
start.
a rectangle with up arrow on it. You can click it on that particular part and then go for the entire screen option. You need to select
Yes, sir,
first.
but it is showing as your entire screen, a window, a tab. So I'm selecting on your entire screen, but the share button is not working.
You need to click on that window first, man. The underneath.
Okay. Ah, yes, yes.
Then it will be selected.
Is the screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible now. You can go for the. Yes, perfect. You're audible and your screen is also visible. You can
Yes.
start.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon to all the esteemed dignitaries present in the conference. Myself, Preeti Savle. I am working as assistant professor in the Department of Political Science of B.K. Birla College, Kalyan. The title of my research paper is Phygital Political System in India: Opportunities and Challenges. The advent of digital era has transformed Indian democracy into a digital democracy. Since the early 2000s, political parties and political leaders in India initiated the use of digital pathways to reach to the potential voters, and gradually during the last 2 decades the digital footprints of politics and governance system in India rapidly spread with the Digital India campaign and the social media boom. So, the growing digital footprints of politics and governance system in India, they are carrying India, or they are making India, or they are transforming India from local to global to digital to digital. So, there is a need to harness the opportunities of the digital world and face the challenges involved in implementing a completely digital political system in India in an inclusive way as well as in a responsible way. The digital political landscape is currently growing fast, and it is having a great impact on the system of governance and the citizens' engagement in India. The present paper focuses to explore the growth and development of digital political system in India. It aims to study the concept of digital political system and examine how the integration of physical and digital elements in politics of the nation has changed the system of governance in India. It aims to study the digital strategizing of elections and the use of political marketing by the political leaders and political parties in India. And it also aims to analyze the opportunities and challenges before the Indian government as well as the Indian democratic system in the present digital era. So let us understand what is digital political system. The digital political system involves the integration of digital technology into the political landscape for better connection with the electorate, the voters. It is the use of digital governance in a physical world where there is use of ICT tools to create public value through the collaboration of society, as said by Chen. And according to Bannister and Davis, it is the use of ICT to support public services, the government administration, democratic processes, and relations among citizens, civil society, the private sector, as well as the state. There are certain factors which had contributed to the development of digital politics in India. Let us examine those factors. The digital political system, like many other nations of the world, gradually evolved over a period of time when people started depending more on the information and communication technologies marked by the increasing use of internet, social media, and online services during the early 2000s. The political leaders in India started to understand the needs of politically conscious urban middle class young voters in India. And realizing the need of the hour, many political parties in India started their own websites, their own social media channels to attract the potential voters. So the political parties and their leaders, they recognize the power of internet and the power of the social media, and they felt that if we use for the internet, the social media for the political aggrandizement or for political marketing, then it will be good for generating public opinion, and we can also reach to the electorate. So they started using digital platforms for conducting political campaigns and canvassing for them and their parties. These political leaders were supported by a large number of tech savvy population of India, especially the young IT students, the young political karyakartas or the members of political parties provided technical help and support to their political leaders, and this helped the political leaders in conducting digital campaigns and digital political marketing. The political leaders started using digital platforms like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp to digitalize their specific political agenda and reach out to the young political volunteers and voters at a stretch. The online campaign on social and political awareness by the digital political activism groups, led by the NGOs and the individuals, also contributed further in the growth of phygital political system, as their digital political campaigns on the various social and political issues started gathering huge support from the masses. Apart from this, when the government of India started the use of electronic voting machines as well as the VVPAT, voter verifiable paper audit trail machines, this also led to the growth of phygital politics. Along with EVMs and VVPAT machines, there was also a considerable growth of data analytics and political consulting firms in India. There were the political campaign managers who helped the political leaders to manage the entire election campaigns. There are many psephologists as well as the e-governance initiatives by the government of India. All this contributed further to the development of digital and the physical, that is the phygital politics in India. Now, there are many opportunities in the phygital political world, which is present before the political leaders. The digital world provides tremendous opportunities to the politicians. The phygital system is working systematically in the caste and communal based politics in India, which is garnering huge support for the political leaders and their parties. And with each election cycle, whether it is national, state, or local election, or the election for a corporate, or the election for the those people who are working as the corporators in the rural or the urban areas, the landscape of digital political marketing continues to grow with the rise in the use of targeted advertising, data analytics, then social media management, and again there is ever expanding use of the social media. The political leaders are making great use of political marketing in the digital world, and example can be given of the current prime minister who has created the brand Modi in one of the powerful brands, which is the most powerful brand in the political history of India. So anyways, there are many challenges ahead to completely transform the Indian political system into a digital political system. The first challenge is the digital divide in India. There are many people in India who do not have digital access, particularly in the rural areas, due to poverty, illiteracy, and unemployment. So it may become, or it is rather difficult for the political leaders to reach to the masses to these rural area masses in a digital way. And there is also a problem related to fake news syndrome. As far as the digital platform is concerned, the fake news syndrome is affecting digital politics, as most of the times false information is shared on the digital platforms, misleading the people and manipulating the public opinion. Then there is no guarantee that data breaches and misuse of data will be taken care of. So data privacy and data security is one of the prime concern in the realms of the digital political era. The cyber security threats like hacking and the threats related to algorithmic bias is also the matter of concern, which needs to be taken care of if there is to be a complete transformation of the political system to the digital world. Then there is also a need to take care of the online harassment of the voters by the digital political world, where the politicians or their people or their workers, they continuously call the people asking their opinion about their political parties. So there is a need to take care of the online harassment of the voters by the digital political world, who feel the constant need to keep in touch with the masses through phone calls or emails or chatting on the social media. And apart from all this, There is a great challenge to hold the political leaders and political parties accountable for their digital misbehavior. For example, like spreading the disinformation or their hate speech, or for any harmful content which may divide the masses. So there is a need to control this also. The conclusion is that what is to be done to make the phygital political system in India a real success? The need of the hour is to evolve a multifaceted approach to understand the challenges of establishing a clear and fair digital political system, wherein all the stakeholders, the government, the political parties, their leaders, the voters, the civil society, as well as the digital platforms, all of them are joined together in efforts to make successful implementation of digital politics in India. Then there is a need that the gap between the digital political engagement and risk involved should be minimized, and there is a need to give maximum benefits to the voters. The digital world of the politics should reach equally to the urban areas as well as to the rural areas. Apart from this, the political leaders, through their digital presence and social media accounts, they can provide a need based politics to varied voters of all the ages. This is something which is missing. So there is a need to provide need based politics through the use of the digital media, or through the use of the digital platform, where the needs of the people, whether they are related to safe or clear drinking water, or whether they are related to electricity, or whether they are related to education or any such employment needs, all these needs should be met by the political leaders by their digital presence and through the use of their social media accounts. And these were the references which I had used. Thank you so much for your patience listening.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Thank you
very
for
much.
giving me the opportunity to present.
Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure to meet. Sir, any comment or question?
As such, no questions since we are running out of time. But good comprehensive presentation,
Thank you, sir.
and
Thank you so much.
yeah, you have almost covered everything: political marketing, cephalogies,
Yes, sir.
VVPATs,
Yeah.
challenges,
Within a
the fake
short
news
span of, yes,
syndrome,
yes,
the Indian Aadhaar Act,
yeah,
the digital misbehaviors, and multifaceted approach.
yes.
So good, good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now we are moving on to the next paper presenter. I would like to call upon Miss Shweta Yogesh Ghare, ma'am, from Mulund College of Commerce. Ma'am, are you there?
Good afternoon. I hope I'm audible. I am trying to share my screen. Just give
Yes,
me a
please.
moment. The screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Just give me a moment.
Your screen is visible. Your presentation is not visible yet.
I
Yes.
hope it is visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
I am not able to switch on my video. It's showing some error, I think. Can I just begin with the presentation?
Yes, your screen is visible, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Good afternoon to all the dignitaries and the research scholars and participants of the conference. The paper which I have presented in this conference is related to emerging trends of women entrepreneurship post-COVID era. As we are here on discussing about the impacts of or opportunities of and challenges of digital environment, entrepreneurship is one thing which has had a great impact upon because of the post-COVID era. So this today, what I am going to discuss about is how entrepreneurship, which revolves around these six aspects which I have listed on. It is about innovation, it is resource management, which needs to be done in a proper way, how risk management helps an entrepreneur to be successful, creativity and constant research, how can it help the entrepreneur to be in the market and to be in the competition, and the dynamic nature of the market how the entrepreneurs should be able to cope with that process. So, speaking about entrepreneurs, how am I trying to relate it to the women entrepreneurs or the topic of today, that is phygital environment? It was been observed that women entrepreneurs before the COVID period and after the COVID period specifically saw a great change. The slide which I am showing you now is emerging women entrepreneurs. What was there early 80s and what it is now. The growing increase in the awareness for higher education has brought women entrepreneurs from the earlier three P's which were there in the 80s, before 80s, and then how it has grown and how the scope for women has grown. So as you can see, earlier we used to link it only to the three P's. Women were expected to do their business activities only in these areas. But now that women are going ahead and increasing their scope towards engineering, electronics, energy, and almost all possible areas in the business sector. So, speaking about these entrepreneurs, I am trying to list out certain skills which these women entrepreneurs can help themselves with so as to become a successful entrepreneur. Listing out these with enough confidence, ability to learn new things, because that is going to add up to your business. The newness is going to be brought to your business. Adaptability of the environment. This is where we speak about phygital, where you are able to adapt the physical environment as well as you are able to cope up with the pros and cons of the digital environment. Speaking about the next part, that is risk taking capacity. When we are talking about risk taking capacity, every business or every entrepreneur has to have certain risk management abilities. So if a particular entrepreneur is able to mitigate their risks, they are only going to make themselves survive in the market, or we can say they are going to go ahead with their business. Creativity and perseverance. Being creative in our business is where you will be able to keep your brand value upgraded, and as well as your customers would be retained herein. That's where we are trying to link perseverance and creativity both for an entrepreneur to be successful. Moving ahead, what were the benefits of these entrepreneurship skills to the women entrepreneurs when they were trying to develop or retain their business in the post COVID period? Because of these skills which they tried and were able to enhance their business with, in such sense that they were able to connect to their customers through their social media. E-commerce is one thing which emerged out even better in the post-COVID period. That is what we have all have been experiencing. So this increased use of e-commerce helped them to retain their customers, helped them to even increase their scope beyond what they were limited earlier, and resultantly enhance their brand value. Moving ahead, as we saw the benefits, there are some challenges with the women entrepreneurs faced in the post-COVID period. As everyone was in line with the online businesses and digital, were trying to cope up with the digital environment, or rather were trying to grab this opportunity. This created heavy competition in the market, which was a huge challenge for all the new entrants in the market, as they were not able to cope up with the financial impacts of this competition. So that was one challenge which even women entrepreneurs faced in the post-COVID period. Majority of the entrepreneurs were not able to cope up with their e-payment mechanisms, wherein they weren't able to receive funds as and when it was required. Majority of them were not able to get their payments regularly on time. So even that was a problem. limited scope for expansion, even if they were willing to expand their business. Due to certain limitations put upon them, they were not able to expand their business. Maybe it is because of human resource, maybe it was related to other resources which were required to cope, which were required to complete their requirements or meet their demands. Those were not possibly implemented. One more important aspect which was faced by them was relating to the raising of funds, the required documentation, or maybe the requirements of the financial institutions. They were not able to cope with it, and that is why that again affected their funds to be raised, and resultantly that affected their scope in expansion of their business. And then when we speak about women entrepreneurs, social obligations are again one aspect which, even if we do not want to accept to ourselves, but to some extent women still are trying to meet all possible social obligations in the society, with which they are trying to continue and evolve out of the best. Moving ahead to see what is the objective of my study here was to learn about the engagement of women entrepreneurs in the development of society. Secondly, how COVID-19, the pandemic, affected these women entrepreneurs, and also the skills which were required, which I just now listed out. Moving ahead, what were the findings of my study? It was a huge number, which you can see that it was observed that 13.5 to 15.7 million women owned entrepreneurs, enterprises were earlier, and then we are having it increased to almost 22 to 27 million people. Again, if we speak about the social contribution of these entrepreneurs or these enterprises, it is potentially, it transforms employment in India, because it is projected that by 2030 they would have almost 150 to 170 million job opportunities. So this is a huge number, so we can surely say that this is going to lead to social contribution towards their engagement in this area. Moving ahead to the conclusions of the study, as I just now said, that women entrepreneurs in the society have had a significant amount of contribution, may it be in the societal betterment, or may it be in economic betterment of the country. It is going to surely uplift the society. Again, speaking about the e-commerce, as it is the need of the millennial, where these women entrepreneurs also try to gear up themselves with e-commerce, it is surely going to help them to sustain their business and retain their customers even in a better way, and increase their scope. Risk mitigation strategies are required so that they can survive market fluctuations. Many of the women entrepreneurs are able to mitigate their risks, but there are new entrants who need to go through or have certain education related to these mitigation strategies, which will help them to again maintain their business and sustain their business in the market. And lastly, proper education to these women entrepreneurs can seriously motivate them to innovative ideas. So these are the references which I am having, which I have referred for the study. Thank you so much for patiently listening to my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Uh, Sir, can we move on to the next paper presenter?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Sonam Singh from R.A. Poddar College of Commerce. Yes, ma'am. You can share your screen.
Uh, Good afternoon, all of you. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible and you are audible also. You can continue. Just keep the time in mind. We are running out of time, so please, I would request everyone to
Okay, sir.
stick to the time
Uh,
limit.
Good afternoon, all of you. I, Ms. Sonam Singh from R.A. Podar College of Commerce and Economics, would like to present my PPT on catalyzing a financial health, a comparative case study of technological intervention in NPA mitigation by public and foreign banks. So, introduction. The important four important factors in this research paper is public bank, foreign bank, NPA, and use of information technology. Now, public bank, as we all know, the public bank basically the bank in which the 50% of the holding is with the finance ministers of the state. Foreign bank, the foreign bank basically they open their branches in several countries. The objective of this bank is the foreign bank is to give the facility uh, for the NRI, non-performing asset. This is the key point of this research paper, non-performing asset. Now non-performing asset means what? Non-performing asset means over here when the bank give the loan and advances to their customer and they are not able to pay that loan and advances within a 90 days, it becomes a non-performing asset. Now, this non-performing asset, it impacts the profitability and the earning capacity of the bank. So, in my research paper, I have done the comparative case study of public bank and the foreign bank and how the foreign bank have used the technology to minimize this NPA. So, the research gap from the literature review, a research gap was that the many study have done on the Indian bank. So I have focused on the foreign bank also. Research methodology, over here I have collected the secondary data from the official website of RBI. I have taken a 5 bank with the least NPA of public sector and foreign sector are considered and pair sample T test has been used. This is the data analysis of 5 Public Sector Bank of India as on March 2022. I have taken only one financial year for my data analysis because if I want to take the 5 years data due to COVID, there could be a difference in the data. So I have focused only on the 1 year financial data. So you can see in the table the name of the bank, NPA, total advances and NPA percentage. So we get this NPA percentage from NPA upon total advances into 100. You can see the NPA percentage of the Public Sector Bank of India. Next, the data of NPA of foreign bank in India has on March 2022. You can see the NPA percentage of foreign bank has compared to the public bank in India and the foreign bank, the NPA percentage of foreign bank is less compared to our public bank in India. The objective of my study, as I discussed, to study and compare the NPA of public sector and foreign sector bank. So with the help of the pair sample test, the p-value is 0.009, which is less than 0.05. That's why the null hypothesis has been rejected and the alternate hypothesis is accepted. The conclusion, there is a significant difference in the NPA of public sector and foreign sector bank. Why there is a significant difference in the public and foreign sector bank? It because the foreign sector banks are using updated technology to track the record of their customer. They monitor the loan payment system and the various auto customized technology. Finding and conclusion from the analysis of data, it clearly indicates the average NPA of foreign sector bank is significantly less than public sector bank. It helps to generate the quick and customized report related to bad account and may lead to NPA in future. Investment in technology application is important but has been taken care by foreign sector bank. Public sector bank are in the process of adoption of this latest technology. These are the reference which I have used for my research paper. Thank you. Thank you all of you.
Thank you, madam. Uh, we'll move on to the next paper presentation. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Nilesh Kumar Agarwal sir from KJ Somaya College of Arts and Commerce.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir.
I hope I'm audible. I will present my screen. In the interest of time, I will keep the presentation also very short.
Yes, please, sir. Yes, you are audible. You can share your screen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My topic for the study is it's a study on Indian higher education system and inclusive growth in the process of globalization. The idea of study is to understand if India or Indian education system is good enough or is able to take the challenges or what are the challenges rather, I would put it this way, in the higher education system in India. So starting and taking the presentation on, we all know that India has a very unique and distinct historical education system. So universities like Nalanda, Takshila were the pioneer industries in the ancient time of India. However, with the education system, over time, the education system of India has changed into the caste pattern. So if you see here in the next slide, the Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Ati Shudra are the different castes that were created slowly into the society. And education was actually based on who we are teaching rather than what we are teaching. So the entire focus of the education was shifted, and the education pattern was drafted or designed in a manner that the education for a Brahmin would be very different from what we give to a Vaishya or a Shudra and what we give to a Kshatriya. While we understand that they have different objective of life to be achieved, however, we cannot distinguish that at the basic education level at any time during the society. So that was a problem that started in India about 500 years ago, and the pioneer universities like Takshila and Nalanda, they lost the importance of how they want to continue the education. Moving on, realizing the problem or the issues with the education system based on caste, there were actually many reformers who tried to bring change, and they did bring the change in the entire education system. Starting with Gautam Buddha, as early as time that we can go, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, Savitribai Phule, Rajshri, Shahu Maharaj, and latest by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So these people realized the issues, the challenges that could come across, and which the next generation going to come would face, and they brought the change. While it is not a complete change still in the society, but their efforts, what they have put in terms of education system change, is significant, and we cannot ignore that. The objective of the entire research study is to understand the changes that has gone into Indian education system due to globalization process. The globalization effectively started in India as early as 1991 with the Congress government headed by PM Mr. Narasimha Rao. So he actually brought the globalization of Indian economy, and after that, the education system also gradually changed. There is now a new trend of privatization along with the globalization, where institute or the universities wants to get private and accordingly design their own curriculum matching to the global needs. Yes, there is no harm with that, or there is no negative side of this. However, the fee side or the reachability of the new education system with the entire population is the challenge that we are going to see in the entire presentation, and the correlation of privatization and globalization with the inclusive growth of education sector in India. In the 12th five-year plan, the government has set an objective of inclusive growth, where it also wants to promote education not only at the basic education level, like 14 years of education, right to education. So that right to education is an in my mind is an old story, which is yes, which is required still. I'm not I'm nowhere saying required or not helpful, but right to education has to be looked beyond in terms of that education should be taken to the next level. Each kid in India should be given that facility of not only the basic and primary education, but also the education that leads to an employment or employability of the student. It is not only just teaching them basics of languages and mathematics, but also making him employable and making him professional in terms of able to think with the help of knowledge.
Nilesh Kumar sir, just a minute.
Yes,
Extremely sorry for interruption.
this
Sonam Singh ma'am, can you mute yourself? You are unmute again. This happened several times since morning, ma'am. Sonam Singh ma'am, please mute yourself. Thank you. Nilesh Kumar sir, please proceed.
yes,
Sorry.
I yeah, no problem. So that I understand. So, what is happening with the globalization of education in India, or with the globalization, education has also gone global. I would say that everybody today in India, if a student is from a well-to-do family, rather than taking an education in India, first he would try to opt an opportunity outside India. If somebody is not able to make that opportunity outside India, then he would try to make the opportunity from best possible premium institute in India. But how we define a premium institute in India is very different from what and how we defined it earlier. So today the premium institute is how much money are they charging, who can afford the fees of the education in the premium institute, how is the social economic background of the institute, where the institute is set up, what are the facilities that they are offering in terms of infrastructure. That actually makes the entire education or the system very different from the basic of the requirement of imparting the quality education. The social economic, the economic, these political sectors and factors do also affect Indian education system. So if we look at the government institutes who are still not many in quantity, but yes, they are the premium institute, like we can talk of at professional level, IIT and IIMs or ITS for that matter. These are the premium institute, but how many institute do we have? Government has now come up with many opening with many IMT and IIM, but still they are still not sufficient to the population and size we have. The option for the kids are to go to the private universities. Now private universities will also have their own problems in terms of high education fees, in terms of uh, benchmarking or high merit list, that everybody would not be able to participate in the education system. There would be surely political interference. There would be infrastructure issues. Place like Mumbai would not be having a place or a better infrastructure. They can have a good building, but a campus or a requirement to develop a big institute is definitely a challenge in India. So these are the issues that we still see in Indian education system. Now, how do we resolve that? Not easy, because the challenges are multifold. The challenges are not only from the government side, not only from the private institute, but it is a challenge which requires a holistic change or a view to change the entire system. The problem is everybody here in the education system, and I'm sorry if I'm quoting somebody wrong, but there is a education is now not there in India. It is said, it we can say that it's a business now in India, and if everybody is doing business, then who is imparting the knowledge? In my paper I have given statistics which I'll skip here in this slide, because in the interest of time that's not something that I want to do. But with the globalization, yes, we have liberalized the entire education system, but is it right? We have privatized the entire education system, or we are in the process of privatizing education system. I don't know if it is a right thing to do. Globalization of the economy as well as of the education has happened over the years of over many years, and it is still in the is still still going to be there for many years to come. Marketing, instead of education, instead of students now coming to colleges or the institutes are reaching out to students in and marketing themselves. So these are the challenges that we still face. Inclusive growth is a bigger challenge. Now if I'm imparting knowledge which is leading to inclusive growth of the student of the country, I don't know, maybe if it is real or if it is only an eyewash. Sustainable development. Do we have sustainable development in terms of creating a new batch of the student or who is going to be future of India? So these are the things that I have covered in India in my presentation, looking from the education point of view and how education would lead to a next generation or how will they will shape up the new generation that is coming in India in next 50 years. The conclusion I can make from entire exercise or the entire research is sorry is that problem in this education sector in the country has hindered the universalization and education which has become a major obstacle of the inclusive growth. The government is the sole support of education sector. Now, where I'm saying government is sole support of the education sector, government should ensure that education, even in the private institute, is within the reach of common man and to the not only they are not restricted to the only cities, but also being or are able to reach to rural areas and the not as tier two cities we can say. Overall, the management of the education sector in the country is mainly responsible for wrong marketing of education sector and the changed commercial nature of the education in the name of globalization. I would conclude here and I'm happy to take any question answers on the session.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. But due to time constraint, I think sir would like to give the remark at the end.
No problem, sir. I understand. Thank you very much. Thanks for patiently listening.
Milind, sir, can we continue or you want to ask something to? Okay. So let's move on to the next paper presenter. I would like to call Dr. Parampreet Singh from Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College. Sir, can you check your audio first? Dr. Parampreet Singh, sir. Sir, your audio
On
is not.
behalf of Parampreet sir, I am here to represent the topic. The topic is a study on chronic professional diseases associated with employees of the information technology sector industry.
There is too
Correct.
much background noise, man.
IT professionals who use computers for a few hours per day are at risk of developing vision problems, eye strain, shoulder problems, musculoskeletal disorders, obesity, diabetes, stress, neck and shoulder problems, and back pain, among others. The purpose of the current study is to identify these problems and associated factors with their working environment and implement policy level adjustments for the betterment of their health. The study was conducted in Mohali with 417 employees from 12 companies serving as respondents.
Hello. There is too much background noise, man. We cannot hear you clearly.
Nearly half of the study participants had average knowledge of health issues, and over three quarters of them had experienced one or more health problems as a result of using computers constantly in their day-to-day work environments. It is evident that the work environment has a direct negative impact on their health, and there is a larger knowledge divide between employees and management regarding the health problems. They must be addressed by conducting regular health checks, conducting numerous research projects on their health issues and management, and implementing awareness programs for both employers and employees. So, the results here are drawn. Some are included in the present study work. Included in the present study were 417 IT professionals. The majority of respondents were male, that's 54.9%, while the rest were female, 45.1%. About 50.8% of the participants were younger than 25 years, 42 percent were between the ages of 26 and 35, 5.8% were between the ages of 36 and 45, and 1.4% were older than 45. So among the participants, 50.8 were married, 46% were unmarried, 2.9% were divorced, and the remaining 0.2% are widowers. So, the majority of respondents, 48.4%, had an annual income between 2 and 5 lakhs. 44.4% respondents have less than 2 years of professional experience. 42.2% have 3 to 5 years, and the remaining 13.4% are evenly divided between respondents with 6 to 10 years of experience and those with more than 10 years of experience. About 49.6% of respondents spend between 7 and 8 hours per day in front of a computer. The majority of respondents take a break every hour. 30.5 take a break every 2 hours, 8.2% take a break every 30 minutes, and 7.2% take a break every 4 hours. The majority, 50.4% of respondents, prefer to sit with their backs to the ground, followed by 38.4% of respondents who prefer to sit with their fronts to the ground and 11.3% who prefer to sit upright. The participants in the current study had an average level of knowledge regarding computer related diseases. So, the discussion about this is we studied the prevalence of visual problems and musculoskeletal issues, stress, obesity, diabetes, and other health issues among IT professionals in Mohali. The present study found that the majority of IT professionals have less than 2 years of experience, spend 7 to 8 hours per day in front of a computer, and take only a 1 hour break every hour, and have a back leaning seated posture. Sitting in front of a computer for extended periods increases the risk of health problems among IT professionals. Previous researchers also agreed with their findings. Observed health issues included musculoskeletal the conclusion is that the IT professionals who spend a great deal of time seated in front of a computer are more likely to experience health issues such as visual, diabetes, blood pressure, musculoskeletal, and stress problems. In terms of visual problems, the study concluded that pain, irritation, redness of the eye, and blurring of vision were more common, while musculoskeletal problems included pain or stiffness in the lower back, pain or stiffness in the wrist, hand or fingers, pain or stiffness in the shoulder, and pain or stiffness in the neck. Higher stress conditions such as moodiness, short temper, accelerated speech, nail biting, restlessness, getting confused easily, weight gain or loss, nervousness were more common. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. You can stop presenting now. Now I would like to call the last paper presenter for this session, Mrs. Uma Trivedi ma'am from Holistic Health Coach.
Yes, give me 2 minutes. I wasn't expecting that my name would be taken so fast. So just give me 2 minutes.
Just keep
Okay, I would like to give a brief.
just keep the
Before I
time
open up my
constraint
camera
at
and share the screen, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Right. Okay. Before I open up the camera and share the screen, I would give a brief review about the paper that I'm presenting. I'm a research scholar from Manipur International University, and the topic for the conference, which is a phygital uh, effects on our lives, on the different fields that we are working on. My field is of health. I'm a health coach, a holistic health coach with my focus on immunity and mental health. So my paper would be giving you a brief overview about no matter how we are moving in the field of technology, how much we are using the technology in our daily lives, where is the mindset actually going? Are we developing a positive mindset or we are developing a negative mindset? So that is about the research that I'm doing. I work in both the modes, in the physical, like in an offline mode, as well as in the online mode. Now we all know that before COVID actually hit us, Not many of us were equipped with using the technology so frequently. All we were using is the WhatsApp, a little bit, a social media marketing, and of course, people who are already oriented into science and research kind of things, they used it for their favors. But then, as soon as COVID hit and we all moved to the online system of learning, teaching, and how to utilize this all of us were under a little pressure how to use this all so that our work is not impacted, right?
Ma'am,
So,
sorry for the
yes,
interruption, but just a kind reminder that we do have a time limit, so please proceed
absolutely,
ahead with your
absolutely.
presentation.
I'm just opening up my screen here because I was stuck with something else while attending the
Yeah,
seminar. So, just give me a minute
you got
while I open up the
5 more minutes
screen.
to go, ma'am, please.
Sure,
Because
sure.
the valedictory session chairperson is already waiting in the minutes. So please, we'll stick to the time period.
Right. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. So,
Okay, so just in short, I will explain you the kind of presentation that I take while I do my webinars in order to coach people about the effects of a positive mindset. And I will show you a glimpse of my research paper as well in the end. I will not take a lot of time. Appreciate your patience. So we have a curriculum that we follow in each of the sessions that I do. So I take like 2 sessions per week, and then we give them task that they need to complete in the 24 hours itself. We open up the session for 101s. We ask them about their doubts if they have, while I continue teaching them about the negative effects of having a negative mindset and the positive impact accordingly. So, as you can see in the picture, I explain them a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. The slide that you have in front of your screen, I
Your
hope.
PowerPoint is not visible, ma'am. You are
Okay.
presenting, but your PPT is not visible.
The PPT is not presentable. Okay, I mean it's not
It is
visible. I'll
visible.
just share it. Okay, let me try this again. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. So the screen that you have is the second slide that I'm presenting in the form of PPT. Like you see, you have 2 pictures on the screen. One is about a fixed mindset, another one is about a growth mindset. So I explain my participants about the impact of the positive mindset and the negative mindset, how it actually affects their life. So whatever we are doing, be it offline or online, how we are actually grasping the information, how we are utilizing it for our own betterment, that needs to be understood. So no matter in what age group we belong to, either we are 60 plus or we are in our 30s, 20s, in the young age, in the college,
it definitely impacts what we are actually absorbing, the kind of content that we are actually exposed to on a daily basis. The next slide is understanding the perspective. This defines the mindset very clearly, because sometimes when you are in a particular situation and then you land up in a particular argument with someone, each and every person sees that situation from his own perspective. So sometimes when we cannot correlate to the perspective of the other person, we land up into argument. So we need to understand that we need to develop a positive mindset, have patience that that particular person also has some kind of experience and is sharing his logics according to that perspective. So that helps us resolve everyday's issues in the daily life. Then we need to understand what is actually the trigger which is taking us into the direction of developing probably a positive mindset or a negative mindset. So if we observe our inner self, if we check the quality of the thoughts, then we can find out what is the actual trigger. So you see, we have an inner critic in all of us, and there is an inner voice. So you see, they are in two different colors. The voice, which is an inner critic, is critical, it is cautious, focused on the negative, it is emotional, judgmental, repetitive, circular. And the inner critic is driven to protect us from the threats. We need to understand this very seriously. It holds us back from reminding us of our greatest fears, potential for hurt, disappointments from our past, and limiting beliefs about our future. On the contrary, we have a inner voice. What is that? It is supportive, it is encouraging, it is focused on the possible, objective, open, forward looking. The inner voice sees what we are capable of becoming. So it encourages us to try new things, learn and grow, practice self love, and rise to our best self.
Last 1 minute.
Okay, sure. So whatever we do, our aim should be that we achieve a gaining winners mindset. So we win a situation and we win over our life. That's the motto of achieving the positive mindset. So I think that's about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. My apologies, we do are running out of time, so I hope you all will understand. Now, I would like to request Dr. Milind Marathi, sir, the chairperson of this technical session 1, to give his general comments, general recommendations for this session. Milind Marathi, sir, over to you.
But sir, I think let other second session people also join.
They have already,
let the
they have already joined, ma'am.
okay.
Second
So
session
both
is already over.
yeah. So both the chairpersons can then make the recommendations or their observations.
Okay, ma'am, fine. First, we'll start with Milind Marathi, sir, and then I will request Dakshini ma'am also to give her suggestions. Yes.
Yes, sir. At the outset, I'm thankful for inviting me as a session chair. It was a wonderful experience, and the range of topics was diverse, and the participants have, I think, given true justice to the themes which they had. So most of it I almost made comments during the papers only. So it was a great experience in all, and best wishes for the participant. And thank you again for inviting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now we are moving on to the valedictory session. I would like to hand over the charge to Professor Manoj Pathak, sir, for the valedictory session. Manoj Pathak, sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir.
कॉपी कर काय पण कर.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Very good afternoon to one and all present in this online one-day multidisciplinary international conference on Phygital Environment-opportinities and Challenges of the New Normal Era. organized by Advocate V.B.DESHPANDE College of Commerce, Knight, Mulund West. Once again, I, Pathak Manoj Kumar, be lecturer in Mathematics Department of Advocate V.B.DESHPANDE College, welcome you all for today's validatory session. We have invited guest speaker Mr. Mandar Bhanushe, a dynamic personality who is the head faculty of Science and Technology, Idol University of Mumbai. I heartily welcome you, sir, for today's conference. It's great pleasure for me to read out the introduction of such an eminent personality. He is the head faculty of Science and Technology at the Institute of Distance and Open Learning, University of Mumbai. Along with that, he is the founder chairman of Raising a Mathematician Foundation, India, an NGO working in the field of maths education. Former member of International Council for Open and Distance Education, Norway. He is also a former member of Board of Studies in Mathematics and Students' Grievance Redressal Committee of University of Mumbai. He has conducted many workshops for teachers, students on free open source software like GeoGebra and LaTeX, content and learning management system like Moodle, the CN.com, the virtual learning environments like BizIQ or View, and educational mobile apps, spoken tutorial, OER, Wiki Educator, and e-content development. He has given the training to 60,000 plus teachers on various e-learning tools and technologies through workshop and online webinars. He is the public speaker on various topics like role of youth in national reconstruction, science and technology in the ancient Bharat, Bharatiya knowledge system, tradition, career counseling, etc. He received the National Award for the Best Education Webinar Series at the Indian Education Congress 2013, held in May 2013 in New Delhi. Sir has received the National Talent Search Award for the year 2017-18, awarded by the Indian Accounting Association, Thane chapter. He has published 5 articles, presented 8 papers at various international and national conferences, and he is the author of 4 books in mathematics for BCom, Account and Finance, BMS, BSc IT courses. He had worked as a resource person with IIT Bombay on a project of Maharashtra state to train 8,000 high school mathematics teachers under RMSA, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shikshan Abhiyan. He has conducted online 4-credit course on UGC Swayam in the subject of mathematics for the June 2019 session with an enrollment of 2,230 students from 11 states of India. And for the second cycle of January 2020, there are 1,300 plus more enrollments. He is the coordinator of the University of Mumbai community radio named as Must Radio. And last, he is the mentor of Swayam in the University of Mumbai. Now I request Mr. Mandar Bhanushe sir to address the virtual gathering.
Thank you, Manoj, for the kind introduction.
Thank you.
I hope I am audible to all of you, and it is nice to see you virtually.
Thank you, sir.
At the conference. We have been knowing each other for a long time. So, respected principal, Mrs. Kailash ji, I can see her right now virtually on screen. All the organizing committee members of this international conference, and more specifically the participants, the keynote speakers, the moderators of the parallel technical sessions. I was fortunate to be a part of the last technical session where I could hear Dr. Milind Marathe and I could hear the research scholars presenting their papers in this one-day online multidisciplinary international conference, which is titled as Phygital Environment-opportinities and Challenges of a New Normal Era. Few months back, the SIS college had asked for an article to be published in their journal related to this post-COVID techno interventions. And that time I gave this the title to my article also something similar, where I mentioned that blended learning is a new normal. So basically we were focusing on the education technology aspect, and that strike to me that this is a phrase which is being always talked about, new normal. And we are also very rightly speaking about something which is a new normal as far as the word phygital environment goes. I'm also really happy to know that so many academicians, research scholars from industry as well as from academia, from various places, they have gathered here to share their research experiences, the experiments and surveys and the kind of things they have done. And some people might have also placed on record their thoughts, which are related to this very catchy yet a very important topic. I was, as I said, fortunate also to attend the first session of Dr. N. Panchanatham, who is the former Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, and also could listen to the very distinguished another learned personality who spoke after him, Dr. Ravindra Rana, who is a professor from Durban University of Technology, South Africa. So both the sessions I was able to attend for some time, and it was really great to listen to them. They spoke about what are the different things which are related to this phygital environment, in what way they are affecting the common people, and as researchers, what we should be doing. I'm sure that under the able guidance of Principal Dr. Kailash ji, the conference session moderators, we might have been successful in enriching all the attendees on not only the topic of this conference, but also on the various aspects which are related to, say, digital technology, its utility, its importance, its relevance, and more specifically, its future as the world sees, and as Bharat prepares itself for the future. Today is also a great day for all of us, as we were attending this online conference throughout the day. After the very successful launching and landing of our Chandrayaan 3 on the south pole of moon, which our country is the first country to do so, our scientists in ISRO have launched the first space-based mission, PSLV C57 Aditya L1, and that is to study the sun. So let us take this opportunity and wish Aditya L1, because today the Aditya L1 has been launched successfully, and now that will be revolving in an orbit, in a specific orbit, and it will take at least 125 days to reach exactly and safely at that point L1 where it is supposed to go. And it will send the necessary data to the scientists around the world. Most importantly, I thought it is also good to remember that the project director of this Aditya L1 mission is a lady, Miss Niga Shaji. So congratulations to the Nari Shakti of this great nation for this great achievement, which we have fortunately witnessed. Our generation has witnessed so many good things. So the negative part, the earlier speaker is a research scholar, Uma Shankar madam, she was talking about the negative thoughts and those kind of things. So the COVID pandemic has brought many negative thoughts. So it is a good thing that we are here to celebrate so many positive vibes around us. And I hope this conference also might have given very positive thoughts to all of us. I was going through the brochure of this conference when madam shared me that I have to be a part of this, and I was going through the sub-themes of this international conference. I could see many diverse areas which have been covered as sub-themes. So say something like from chat GPT to intellectual property rights, to business startups, to economics, to health, and all this via the buzzword in this today's academic world, which is specifically in our country, which is NEP 2020. So it is good that we have covered so many variety of topics. In Rigveda, we have a mantra, Anu Bhadraha Krutvo Yantu Vishwataha. Let the noble thoughts come from all directions. Today we have seen this happening practically, where all the research scholars, keynote speakers, guest speakers, they spoke about the same topic, but from various perspectives, from various angles, from their own experiences, from their own experiments. And that is something which is very powerful, because this is how we can come together. And in fact, the entire online mode through which we have joined is again very much suitable, aptly suitable to the title Phygital. So we are physical in our locations where we are in the real world, and we have joined this virtual world through Google Meet. So it's a combination of physical world and digital world which is happening, and we are experiencing it firsthand as a part and parcel of this conference. So that is also something which is very remarkable to say at this valedictory session. So all those people who have done a very good work and participated in different roles in this making this conference a success, my congratulations to all of them. Few months back, I was at the one of such similar conference which was organized by Junjunwala College, which is in Mumbai, a very renowned college, an autonomous college, and the conference I think was on NEP 2020. I had gone there to speak on one particular session topic related to distance education and digital education. So at the valedictory of that conference, we had Professor Rajan Vedukar, who is the former Vice Chancellor of University of Mumbai. And when he was speaking in his valedictory talk, he talked about a particular word which probably he himself has coined, and the word he spoke about was learnzumer. So what is this learnzumer? He said it's a combination of the word learner and consumer, or you can take it as customer also. A very unique way, or a very different way of looking at how things are actually happening around. A learner looking at the education as a consumer, as a customer, and a vendor. Now I'm just putting these words in a very generic sense. Let us not be too much of kind of commercial in this, because I could listen to one of the research scholar talking about commercialization of education. I think somebody from Somaiya College was talking about it. If the name is not incorrect from my side, Nilesh Agarwal probably. So let us not look at it into from that angle. But yes, so learner is looking at this entire education system as a consumer, as a customer. The vendors, the education institutes, or you can say the education technology giants, they are looking at learner as their probable consumer or customer. Now, this is something very important for all of us who are in the academics to understand the situation, the scenario, the environment, the changes. So whatever may be the case, we need to know how to look at it, keeping the expectations of the learners in mind, keeping the expectations of general public in mind. So since we are talking about all entire domain which is connected to human life, so all that expectations which are there in the mind, how to deliver is a real challenge in front of all of us. But technology is an opportunity to tackle these challenges. And what is important is the, we can say, the collaboration of intellect and technology. So it is not the technology alone, because that would not be proper to say, because technology keeps on evolving and changing. The intellect connected with the technology is going to create an impact. As academicians, I think we need to take every challenge head on and convert that into an opportunity for the well-being of the learners specifically. I'm specifically talking about learners and academics and academicians, because this is a conference which is representing the entire education system, right? So more specifically, we need to work on aspects related to education. Of course, when we talk about Phygital, it definitely talks about other things also. So similarly, just we have this word learnzumer coming from learner and consumer combination. We have the word Phygital, which comes as a combination of something which is physical and something which is digital in nature. And we all need to acknowledge the significance of this term Phygital. It is very important. This is not just a trendy a buzzword, a kind of word which is going around, and it is not a recent word also. I mean, it is 25, 30 years before we have started so many experiments where we are bringing the physical and digital world together. This is something which encapsulates the essence of the world in which all of us are living today. The physical boundaries, or the boundaries which are there between the physical and digital world, they are increasingly becoming thinner and thinner. So now there's a thin line which separates the physical and the digital world. And what is a key word when this physical and digital is coming closer together? If you ask me what is the key word which is bringing this together, the word is innovation. And that's why we see so many people talking about innovative things, creative things. Why is there so much of talk about innovation today? But also people are talking about research for resurgence in this nation. The world and the nation and the society, everybody has to be taken into consideration when we are doing this research. Our research cannot be a standalone research which is not at all connected. If we see about the National Research Foundation, which is again a byproduct of the implementation of NEP 2020, it says that research should be focused to solve the day-to-day societal problems. And that's why creativity, innovation, research for resurgence, everything is going to be very important when we want to deal with the phygital world. Everything, just like education has become accessible, though not 100%, but yes, we can see the penetration of internet connectivity, we can see the penetration of smartphones, accessibility, the digital technology, because of which this accessibility is happening, the internet revolution. Okay, all this we are able to see in the field of education. We are also able to see in other areas. Like I was able to listen to one of the papers related to health. So areas like health sector have also been very much benefited from this phygital environment. Take the example of the government of India's initiative, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has developed a mobile app called as eSanjeevani OPD. Now this is where the real world doctors who are sitting at remote locations are addressing the health related issues of the population in general, who are at their own remote locations, and everything is happening using the digital technology, and it's happening on real time basis. Right, at the same instant I get a call from a doctor. The doctor is asking the same questions which a physical doctor would have been asking me. There are operations there are surgeries which are being conducted remotely. There are surgeries which are being conducted by robots. So things are very rapidly changing. All our experiences have become more personalized, more interactive. It is blurring the line between the observer and the participant. Right. So what I feel is that we have an upcoming concept again, which is though not very new, but it is being evolving, and the concept is of ubiquitous learning every moment, every second, and this learning is personalized learning. One of my well-known friend from Canada, Professor Kinshuk, he and his team is doing a lot of research on this in Canadian University. And that's quite interesting to really read some articles which are related to ubiquitous learning. So this is what is a background, what we need to understand when we talk about phygital. It is not just mere combination of words. It is combination of two ideas coming together and giving some kind of good, rich experience to the end user. So if you talk about the benefits of this phygital world or phygital environments, what can you see about it? We can just put a gist of this entire experiences. I know I cannot speak for a longer duration because the session has been already extended by almost 30-35 minutes. So I'll just take few minutes, and what is coming to my mind, I'll just share with you in some words which you can elaborate later on. I will not be speaking in detail because the whole day we have heard about it, and we will be doing something. It is not this conference is over and my work is over. So we'll be working on this. So one of the primary benefits which I see happening around, which I am also sure that all of you also might be experiencing, it is about the customer experience. So Say, for example, just very recently, I think 1 or 2 days back, it came in the newspaper and all news channels telecasted it. It's about the digital UPI based payments. In August 2023, this month of August, the UPI based payments crossed 1 crore plus transactions, 10 billion plus transactions, and all these transactions based on the UPI. So this is something which is quite interesting, because the time when this thing was introduced, all of us have seen it in those days when this was introduced, that there was a lot of criticism that India is a poor country. In our country, who will do digital payments when there is so much of scope for doing corruption? So these are negative thoughts, and these negative thoughts are not connected to the real world. The real population of Bharat accepted the digital UPI based payments. I was just browsing the Twitter profile 2 days back again when this UPI thing came. There was a video of a old lady who was selling vegetables. I think many of you might have seen that video. And wherein the customer is asking, oh, I want to do digital payment, how will you take it? She just does the uska ulta kar deti hai, wo jo jiske par vegetable rakhi hai, and at the back of the utensil there is a QR code which is being pasted by somebody else for her, and she just shows that utensil, the back side of that, and yes, this is a QR code, scan it and pay me. So this is a kind of customer experience improvement which we can see because of the digital UPI based payments. I was also able to see a video where a saloon where we go for cutting the hair and normal kind of things, though I have very less hair left, but we have to go to the saloon sometimes. So there are simulative environments created in the saloon. A very professional saloon will show you, just sit in front of the mirror, and the mirror will show you how different hairstyles suit for your personality, and you can choose one of those, and then the person will cut your hair accordingly. Now this is using the digital technology, the simulation environment. If you go to a very big mall where there is a, say for example, the place where we have furniture kept, so you just tell me my hall or my bedroom is of by this size, 10 by 12 feet or whatever, and then what kind of furniture would look better in my room. So there is a app which does all kind of customization and shows you, okay, you can have a sofa, you can have a table, you can have a dining table, you can have this, you can have that, you can keep TV here, and if the customer is satisfied, then boom, the owner gets the required things sanctioned from the customer directly. Now, this is what I mean by saying improving the customer experience. Then we have another benefit which I see is the increase in the engagement of the end user. So I can take the example of education. We have augmented reality coming up, we have virtual reality coming up, we have mixed reality coming up, we have ebooks which have been specifically designed in an interactive manner. We have videos which can be customized and converted into interactive videos. So what is all this? This is personalized, interactive, engaging education. Now, how is this possible? 30-40 years back, a textbook was just a textbook, a printed book. Now we have a book which is in various formats. We have a Bhagavad Gita book coming up with a pen, and you just take the pen over a shloka. The shloka is being read with an audio in it. Now, these are things which have been introduced, which is a part and parcel of this phygital activism or phygital world, we can say. One more benefit which again we will be able to really connect with, it is about the increase in the productivity, boosting the productivity, increasing the efficiency, optimization of the resources, maybe the optimization of the profits, optimization of the cost, optimization of the transport system. So all this by sitting at one place, you can do this. So this is something which is really increasing the productivity of the market engine. Then I think for academicians, I see one more benefit, which is collaboration. See, as we are experiencing right now, we have this as an international conference where we have people joining us from all different remote locations. This is the power of digital technology, where we can have collaborations, and in real-time basis, we can collaborate from people around the world sitting at any corner of this world. So we should make the best use of this benefit coming up from this different collaborate. We should come up with different collaborations with individuals and with institutions also. We can create an immersive experience. See, for example, I don't know what is the current status of this smart city project, which the government of India had announced few years back. But this is something where this phygital environment is going to create a big impact. The digital infrastructure in the smart city project, and if you talk about academics, the digital infrastructure in the academic administration. What are the problems which are the learners are facing currently? Transfer certificate nahi milta hai. There's a problem with the migration certificate. There's problem, I have lost my mark sheet, I have lost my degree certificate. What is the process if you misplace your mark sheet or convocation certificate? You have to file an FIR, you have to file an affidavit, then you have to write an application letter, and then you have to run around, and then you wait for a few months or few days or few weeks. The academic administration can be doing this in few seconds. With just one click, you get your entire document. That is about DigiLocker. That is all about Academic Bank of Credits. That is about the National Digital Repository. So we can see that the academic administration, the social world, the public administration, everything at every location, we will be able to create more immersive experience because of the phygital environment. And one more benefit, which is a larger benefit, which is applicable to all the areas wherein this is going to intervene, it is the accessibility and the convenience, basically. See, my convenience, I want to open a bank account. My convenience is what? I'm at my home right now. This is 4:26 p.m. right now. I'm in a location in Palghar district of Maharashtra state. And the bank employee just gives me a call and says, okay, sir, what do? You click on this link. I'm sending an SMS. That takes me to the mobile application of the bank, and 1, 2, 3, 4, zoom, the account is created. The KYC is also done digitally. Convenience, that's the point. And accessibility, anybody, anywhere, and anytime. So this is, I think, just to summarize about the benefits of having the phygital interventions or phygital environment around us. Of course, with the new interventions comes the new challenges also. And see, this is all about disruptive technology, as we all talk about it. But the point here is to understand that any new technology which comes up, it disturbs, right? The word is disruptive. So it disturbs the entire system initially. And what is the key word in this sentence which I said just now? In my sentence, the key word is initially. It is not going to disturb you forever, right? It's going to disturb initially. So we need to take it with that spirit. So it is anyway going to be there. Let us take it in that spirit. So for other few challenges, as I said, because anything which comes new and though it is also called as disrupted, will create some challenges in front of us, some kind of difficulties. And these difficulties, these challenges, we are good enough. We all, Bharatiya, are good enough to convert these challenges into a very good opportunity also. So one thing I feel is the difficulty to create a phygital environment, okay, which will be quite effective, which will be quite convenient, which will be very customer friendly, user friendly. That is a challenge. How do you make it? Because we may introduce some such kind of disruptive technological interventions, but the point here is to make them effective, convenient, comfortable, user friendly. So this is, I think, one of the challenges which is there in front of the innovators, the startups, the Make in India, Made in India kind of people. And also this is a challenge for the innovators like the academicians who are going to bring up with some kind of ideas and solutions. There is also a big challenge which I was also fortunate to get an understanding about it when I attended the G20 summit which happened in BKC in Mumbai last year, almost 6-7 months back. So that is about the data privacy, the security concerns which are related to the privacy of the individuals. So that also has to be addressed properly, because there is a challenge in front of all of us when we come into the phygital world about the security and the data privacy of individuals of this country. And of course, across the world, this is the same problem, but then we have to keep it in mind and we have to address this as also as a challenge. One challenge, I don't know whether we call it as a challenge specifically, but yes, it is a concern. That's about the human touch, human connections. Because whenever I go, mostly I do teachers training program with reference to education technology. So this is a common question which I get from the participants who are teachers in the regular face-to-face classroom environment. So they say, you are talking so much about education technology, but where is the human touch? Without that, how can education actually be achieved, etc. So yes, I agree to that point also, and therefore this is also one of the challenge which I feel which we have to address, that how do we bring into the human touch, how do we bring into the human connection when we are talking about the digital world. A very natural challenge, or you can say a byproduct of too much of use of technology, is the dependency on technology. Okay, so the dependency of technology also is a challenge which we have to tackle. One of the important thing which is happening, and of course people are addressing it around the world, and we also have to address it, that is about the e-waste, electronic waste. So much of electronic waste coming up. And I'm really happy to share at this point in this conference to all of you that our University of Mumbai's Department of Chemistry research scholar, Roshan Rane, his guide, Professor Vishwanath Patil, they have come up with a very innovative digital solution for recycling of lithium-ion batteries. Now, this is what I mean by collaboration, because when I was talking about collaboration some time back, here you can see that our Mumbai University's Department of Chemistry collaborated with the Swachha Urja Alliance, and they came up with this very innovative solution, how to recycle the lithium-ion batteries. So dependency of technology is going to give rise to e-waste. How do you tackle this e-waste issue? There we really would require a lot of innovative solutions, and e-waste is one such example. Too much dependency on technology is another issue. And this leads to a very valid and a point which has been discussed by many research scholars also, and that is about the something which we cannot ignore about the ethical issues. There are ethical challenges, there are societal challenges, there are technical challenges which this digital environment brings along with it, and we have to address. There's a digital divide which we have to address. There's a loss of human connection, as I said, which is missing in this entire world of digital world, and which is really going to demand attention of researchers, of academicians, of people around in different areas who are working on this, and a collective effort to address this challenge is something which is quite important for all of us to do. Of course, there is one more challenge, you may not say, but it is something which is a very practical thing. That is about the cost which is attached to it. So, for example, creating an augmented reality tool, it is not that easy. It is not that you can say it is costly affair. So it is an expensive thing for designing, developing, and implementing phygital tools. So that is also one of the things which we can address. But of course, there are all these. When I say challenges, there are solutions attached to that. 2 years back, I was attending one program in Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh, where we had the Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi ji, who is working with child education and other things. And in his speech, he said one very, very nice line, which I remember I generally share when I have to talk about something related to societal issues and problems and challenges. What did he say? He said that I understand that India is a country of 1,000 problems. Now, see, this is completely connected to what I'm currently speaking. We talked about the importance of digital things, we talked about the benefits of that, then we talked about the challenges or difficulties. So he says, I understand that India is a country of 1,000 problems, but at the same time, remember that we are also a country with billion solutions. Now, I feel this is something which should be striking in our mind again and again and again, that yes, there are 7, 8, 10, 19, 20, 30, 40, 100 problems and difficulties, challenges related to something which we would like to do. But at the same time, why are we there? Our existence, our purpose of existence is basically to resolve these difficulties, to address these challenges, and convert these challenges into opportunities for the betterment of the society. So though there are thousands of problems, we are 130 crore people, so we have a billion solutions. Let us work, each individual work on one problem. At least 5-10 people come together, do a collaborative work and work on a particular problem. Just like Swami Vivekananda said, that take up an idea and live for it. Entire life, dedicate your entire life for one problem and see that the problem is eradicated. We have a solution for that problem. That is my contribution to the society and to the world. So I think if we navigate through this entire complex landscape, what is the thing we should be looking forward is we must foster collaboration, and we must also foster interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary thinking, which NEP 2020 talks about. Now, a mathematics person cannot just talk about only mathematics. That fellow also has to take into account statistics, computer science, sociology, psychology, all kind of aspects which are affecting. My subject is maths, and I know that it is something which is affecting the entire human life, all domains. Nothing is going to be untouchable for us mathematicians. But the most important point here is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary thinking. So every day in our daily life, okay, it is going to get affected with this changing disruptive technology, its intervention into our daily life. Our daily life, from early morning when we get up, the digital clock which wants us, yes, it's morning 4:30 a.m., get up. Okay, from that point itself, it begins, the intervention begins. So maybe in our education, our work environment, where we say the field of e-commerce, the public life, the health, the wealth, the family system, the moral values, the entire everything related to the human world, as I'm saying, everything is going to get affected with this changing disruptive technological intervention. And we cannot run away from that. We must be vigilant at the first hand. As a first-hand experience gainer, we should be vigilant. As an academician, as a researcher, we should be providing viable, ethical solutions, which is simultaneously to all these challenges, okay, within this new, what you call new normal era. Okay, so we have to work as a lecturer, as a professor in our college, in our university. We also have to do some research work, and at the same time, we also have to tackle these issues related to the new challenges coming up with the new normal era, like the phygital environments and all those kind of things. What we decide today, my friends, will be impacting the generations to come. And this is therefore we have to understand what is my role in this entire system. Let us play our role effectively, actively. And remember two lines which I'm saying as a part of the end of the valedictory session from my side. And the first thing is, change is mandatory, survival is optional. Change is going to be there, whether you like it or don't like it, whether you are part of it, not a part of it, change is mandatory. That's the rule of this world. But the only thing is, you can say, okay, survival is option. If you don't want to survive, it's your option. And the second point is that, as I say, the change is mandatory, survival is option. I also say that be the change you want to see. And with this as a motto in your life, let us work on this, and let us not leave this one-day international conference with very happy by sharing our research papers, sharing our research articles, listening to somebody while cooking the food, while doing something else in the colleges and wherever you are. But let us not forget and close this chapter at the end of the valedictory session and be happy with the certificates which we receive. But take these issues forward and take head-on more issues which come to us. Collaborate with others from the industry, from the corporate, from the society, from the NGOs, from the individuals and academicians, and let us work for a better world. Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much for very patiently listening to whatever I said, whatever came to my mind. Sabko namaste, bhavatu sabha mangala.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable and informative talk. And on behalf of Advocate V.B.DESHPANDE College, I thank for you for accepting the invitation of conference given from college. Now we are moving towards the end of session. For this, now I request Mr.
मनोज सर आप म्यूट हो.
Patak sir, you're on mute.
Okay, okay.
Unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your valuable and informative talk. And on behalf of Advocate V.B. Deshpande College, I thank you for accepting your our invitation for this conference. Uh, Now I request Mr. Sunil Ram sir to propose the vote of thanks and take the charge of other announcement.
Yeah, before that, I would like to share few things. Thank you, everyone, and our regrets for if there were any technical glitches because it was online, and as it was said in the beginning that there are limitations for technology or these online conferences, and cooperation given by Marathe sir, Sushmita ma'am for concluding the technical sessions because we had a time schedule which we had to observe, and cooperation given by Mandar sir also, because I had to text the message to everyone, sir, please, and please don't feel that it is rudeness from our side or arrogance of our side, but within the time schedule we have to manage it, and
Madam, you are muted.
Yes, there is a connectivity issue right now. I hope ma'am will join very soon. Ma'am, are you there? Yes, ma'am, you are visible now.
Visible?
Yes, and you are audible also.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, yes, thank you so much, everyone. And uh, my best wishes to all the paper presenters for your further research in years to come. And as Mandar sir has shared, very, very informative session, informative talk he had. Right from in the beginning, we had Panchanatham sir, and at the end, Mandar Bhanushe sir. Between that, we had, of course, they were two excellent speakers, and between these two sessions, we had again a wonderful people delivering a very informative and a very relevant, very contemporary talk. Thank you, everyone, and over to you, Ram sir, now.
Ram sir, unmute yourself.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible and visible. Continue.
Okay, thank you so much, madam, for inviting me for vote of thanks. First, a very good afternoon to all of you. Now we are at the concluding session of today, one day international conference. I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of management staff, teaching and non-teaching staff of Advocate V.B. Deshpande College of Commerce night for today's distinguished eminent speaker, Dr. Natarajan Panchanatham sir, Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Teacher Education, University of Chennai, for guiding our participant and sharing valuable thought and knowledge. Second, keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Ravindra Raina sir, Professor of Economics, Durban University of Technology, Republic of South Africa, for motivating our respected participants from your expertise, knowledge. Third, the subject expert, Mr. Manoj Sathe sir, country head, Excite Technologies, for throwing light on capital market and economic development in physical environment. I also thank Dr. Suchitra like Principal of J.G. Joshi and N.G. Bedekar College, Thane, Mumbai, for guiding us on new education policy 2020. We are thankful to Chairperson of Technical Session, Dr. Milind A. Marathe, Sir, from Seema Nare, and Dr. Susmita Dakshini, retired professor from DTSS College, Mumbai, for evaluating the presentation and for their valuable recommendation. We are thankful resource person of today valedictory function for Mr. Mandar Bhanushe sir for joining and sharing his wide knowledge on digital mode of education. We are thankful to our chairman, Advocate V.B.DESHPANDE sir of college and Dr. V.B.DESHPANDE sir, chairman of Sarvajnik Shikshan Sanstha. We are also thankful to respected Principal Madam Kailas Anikar Madam for guiding us to organize and conduct this mega event. We are thankful to participants who take active participation to join and make successful this one-day multidisciplinary international conference. We are thankful our teaching and non-teaching staff who took active part and work hard to make one day multidisciplinary international conference grand success. And at the end, आयुष्याच्या प्रवासात चांगली माणसं भेटतात. आयुष्याच्या प्रवासात चांगली माणसं भेटतात आणि चांगल्या आठवणी देऊन जातात. जातात जातात गोड आठवणी कायम देऊन जातात. मिट्टी को सोना बना दिया, मिट्टी को सोना बना दिया, जो भाग्य में नहीं था वो दिला दिया. विदा हो रहे हैं इस कॉन्फ्रेंस से, अरे विदा हो रहे हैं आज हम कॉन्फ्रेंस से, जाते जाते खुशी के आंसू दिला दिया. Now I declare that all participants should get their soft copy within 7 to 8 days and hard copy 15 to 20 days from today. Now I declare that today program is over. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much and all the best to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you everyone for joining. Further instructions will be shared in WhatsApp group. Thank you.
बंद करू सगळं. सगळं काढायचं ना.